What's up, beautiful people? My name is Derek Standifer, aka Ayana's daddy, aka Derek Jr.'s papa, aka my parents' son, and I have the honor, the privilege, and the pleasure of having Miss Ky'Eisha Penn on Solving Sundays. Miss Ky'Eisha, how are you, good ma'am?
I'm good. I'm happy to be here.
It's an honor, a privilege, and a pleasure to have you on the show. You're a dope individual, a dope soul. I've been knowing you for a minute, and since I've been knowing you, you've been climbing the mountains. You've been pulling people along. You've been a beacon of light to showing young people how to do it. So I'm grateful to have you on this interview, good man. Thank you for your service to man and womankind.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah. Just before we
As
get
well,
started,
because you doing the same thing. So shout out to you too.
I'm getting better at receiving those compliments. So thank you for that. You know, still sharp as steel. So I appreciate it. Before we get started, good man, can you tell us a little background information about who you are, what you do, why you do it? You know, we need to get into get into knowing who you are, good man.
Absolutely. So, as stated, my name is Ky'Eisha Penn. I am now located in Washington, D.C., but originally from and will always rep Miami, Florida 305. Shout out to Crib. I am a Florida State alum, FAMU alum, Howard Law alum. And I'm currently working at Advancement Project, racial justice, social justice organization, working as a civil rights attorney, doing work that truly impacts our Black community. So I love the work that I do. I love that what I'm doing is impacting our people and our communities. Most of my work is geared towards dismantling the school to prison pipeline, having police free schools, and stopping the over criminalization of youth. But I'm also doing some electoral work regarding, voter rights protection, restoration of rights for formerly incarcerated people. So all the stuff that impacts our community directly, working with organizations on the ground to really make a difference. So happy to be here and to share the work that I do and how I got where I am and where I'm trying to go. And hopefully I'll get there by the grace of God.
Yeah. So you know, unfortunately and fortunately, we need the work that you're pursuing right now. This is a time of righting the wrong, fighting the injustices of the world, and we need warriors like you out there fighting the battle. So thank you for your work, thank you for your service. Um, the next question. So now we're in the part of solving the Rubik's cube. So step one of solving the Rubik's cube, step one of solving life is to believe. So, Ky'Eisha Penn, Miss Penn, what is the belief? What's the end goal for you? What do you see yourself when it's all said and done? What do you want to be known for?
So, as you know, and many people in my community and village know, like when they mention my name, they say, yeah, she wants to be the president of the United States.
Madam President.
Yeah, so I've been saying that since I was 14 years old. Just truly believing that the sky is the limit, or the sky isn't even the limit. Really dreaming big. I once went to an event where Ambassador Shabazz was speaking to Florida State students, and she said, "If your dreams don't scare you, they're not big enough." And that's the scariest thing that I could possibly think of, and something that I think would truly impact my community, having someone who really experienced America, grew up in the trenches, that want to advocate for those people who are most marginalized, and kind of have some type of analysis around how to not only impact that community, but impact the entire nation. So outside of the presidency, my goal is really just to do work for my people, to liberate Black people, make a difference, leave a legacy behind, for not only my kids, but future generations, like beyond that. So I'm hoping that the work that I'm doing now as a lawyer, as a movement lawyer, is somehow teasing at getting to the root of what I'm trying to do as a whole. Yeah. Just want to impact my community where I come from.
Change the legacies that have been bestowed upon us. We need some cycle breakers. Someone,
Absolutely,
Coach
absolutely.
Hill.
I am the breaker of generational curses around here.
Exactly. I had there's a difference between a father and a dad. My dad, Coach Hill, his wife used to tell me that all the time that I was breaking generational curses and generational cycles. And in 2020, we still have people still breaking those same generational cycles, and the work
Absolutely.
must be done. So we're so grateful for that platform that you stand on. Um, Now, you got to believe. Now the second step of solving the Rubik's cube, the second step of solving life is the why. That's to solve your cross. So what are your reasons? What are your why? Why are you doing the work that you're doing?
I stated a little bit before, I truly want to impact my community. I think growing up poor and in a domestically violent household and also in the inner city of Miami, like really expose the disadvantages I think that a lot of folk have, that are marginalized and underprivileged and don't have the resources to really access all of these, resources that America supposedly has to offer, right? And I thought that my only way out of that and my only way to uplift not only my family, but people who had similar experiences was to go to college and like try to go as far as I can. I'm just like, I've been a professional student for a long time. Finally, no more school. Like, we met each other in a grad program. Like, my goal was to go as far as I possibly can to show young people that come from where I come from and have similar experiences who grew up, in and out of shelters or grew up not having the basic resources like lights and water, to know that despite the adversity that they face, they can become anything,
Mm-hmm.
And I think when I was younger, there's nothing that anyone could have told me like at 7 years old that would have made me believe that I would be where I am right now. But I was hungry. I was hungry for something different than what I saw. I was hungry for something different than what I was exposed to, the crumbs that was given to me in the public school system. And I wanted something better for myself. And I knew something better was out there, even though I didn't know exactly how to obtain that. But I've been blessed to encounter some really amazing people along the way that kind of just, led me in the right direction and supported me and still supports me to this day. So
Um,
hope I answered that question
you
correctly.
did, you did. And it actually flows right into. Let me get some. So we got a Monte. I did an interview with him a couple weeks ago. So he giving praise.
That's my bro.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah, 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 yeah. Miss Gian Jones. She says, "Thank you so much for your work, Attorney Penn." Yeah, 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 yeah,
you so
yeah.
much.
So
I'm trying.
you doing. Um, so that leads us to our third step of solving the Rubik's cube. The third step of solving the Rubik's cube. Third step of solving life is to fill in your corners. Now, one of the things that I admire about you is your strong. You have a very strong network of quality people. Some people fight their whole lives to find the quality of people that you have access to. So, what kind of friends do you call friends? What kind of environment do you immerse yourself in order to handle the journey that you're on? Um, really your environment. How do you stay strong mentally, physically, spiritually? And highlight that friend point for that friend portion for me, please.
Yeah, absolutely. Relationships have always been very important for me, even, since I was younger. I think that I pride myself in surrounding myself with positive people who are just as driven, and people who are just as ambitious. You want people that's gonna push you like further than you ever thought that you could imagine. I told you prior, like there's people out there, they'll be like, yeah, she's gonna be the president of the United States. Like people believe in my dreams. I don't want to say more than I do, but like they really go hard for the things that I believe in. And I think everybody deserves to have that support, that village, that tribe of people who are going to support them no matter what. They like, you want to be the president? We never had no black woman president. We never had a woman president, but I know that you can do it. Like
Mhm.
people that believe in you beyond like what you can even imagine. So I think that I've been blessed to have friends that are go-getters and want to push me to be the best possible version of myself, because they know the potential that I have and they know the impact that I can have even when I don't see it. I'm grateful to have friends to really highlight the positives about myself that allow me to keep going. I have mentors who have opened doors that I would have never thought will be possible. The reason that I ended up at Florida State University, I was just telling one of my friends earlier today, is because I had a mentor that went to my high school that went to Florida State, and she was the first person that articulated that she believed in me and she believed in what I could be, and the impact that I would have on this world. And I was just like, that's all I need. I'm going to Florida State. And from there, it's just been an amazing experience. It's all God for sure. But that's been an amazing experience. And I still have her in my corner to this day. Like, she went to law school, like, let me know all the tools that I needed for that application process, on top of, my FSU parents. I have FSU parents that love me dearly, even though there is not one gene in our body that, connects us relatively. But it's just really been amazing to have people that believe in, like, my biggest and wildest dreams.
Oh, it's crazy. When you tell people your big dreams, the ones that scare you, I want to be president of the United States. A lot of times we get haters. You can't do that. You can't be the president. You came from Miami. You can't be president. We hear it a lot. We hear so much negativity, and it's a truly a blessing, man. It's, you really just got to pay all homage to God that you have people that says, instead they don't give the negative that you can't do it. They put down your dreams. Let's be realistic. Those type. Let's be realistic. You got people who say, you can do it, and they genuinely believe it. You really could do it. You could really be the president. Are you really on a path where you could be the president? And I mean, when you look at successful people in politics and where they are, you picking up their breadcrumbs pretty well, and you do a good job of picking up the people's breadcrumbs. So, yeah, we got the friends. What else?
Yeah.
What about the other components of your environment? How do you feed your mental? How do you feed your spirit? What kind of audio do you intake?
I have a relationship with Jesus Christ. I am a believer in Jesus. Like, faith is very important to me. I don't think that I would have gotten this far without having that belief system. I know that through all the adversity that I faced growing up, all of it has worked together for my good, like, truly worked together for my good, because it's made me who I am. But also, even through my faith, I've been connected with people that believe in such a way that has inspired me to just continue to go, because I know that there's, like, this greater purpose on my life. And I didn't always know what that purpose was, but I knew it was to serve people. And I think over time it just was further revealed, through me. So my faith is extremely important. Going to church and being connected with my pastor and the people that I serve with, having friends that pray for me and pray with me is truly important. So my faith above all is what I would credit for me being where I am, and keeping me on the journey to get to where I'm going to go. So we'll see where I actually end up, where God truly wants me, if that's, in politics, or, that could be serving in another capacity. So I'm grateful to be doing the work that I'm doing right now, and truly impacting people, like I said, I wanted to do. So that's a blessing, to truly be able to do the work that you want to do.
Mm, mm. Yeah. That's dopeness. Dopeness at its finest. Very important pillars to keep in your life, especially to have you in enthralled in a positive environment, one of faith, one of belief, one of courage, one of tenacity, don't give up mentality. You have all those, you embody all those. So we appreciate that. Step four of solving Rubik's Cube, step four of solving life is to take it to the next level. You're not, if you stay on the cube, it's taking it to the next level, solving the second row of the cube. So, Miss Penn, I'm sorry. How do you get better? How do you grow? How do you develop yourself?
I try to learn from people who I think know way more than me. I read. I have a stack of books, like tons of books here. I have a reading list for the rest of 2020, where I'm trying to learn more and sharpen my politic. What I mean by that is, like, really challenging my belief system, not my faith belief system, but the way that I see the world and the way that I think the world can operate. I've been trying to challenge myself in reimagining the world that I think is possible, and the world that I want to live in, and the world that I want my children and my children's children to live in. And I'm working to figure out, how can I create that world? How can I make that world possible for future generations to come? And how can I make sure that I incorporate that in my work, to make sure that my work reflects my views of the world and what I want the world to be, and how that can be possible. I think having conversations with people helps to, sharpen me as a person, like what I believe and where I'm going and how I approach life, how I approach life's obstacles. Um, Having mentors, people that you want to learn from. I don't believe that you find one person and you just adopt everything that that one person has to offer. I think that we should have several mentors because there's several different things that we want to pull, like positive things we want to pull from different people, and incorporate that into the way that we operate and the way that we get through life. And my faith, my faith is what helps me continue to get sharper. It gives me hope. It allows me to keep pushing because I know that that greater is always coming.
Mhm.
So I would say those things.
If you follow you on social
So,
media, Instagram, one, you every time I'm looking at your stories, there's always a book passage that you've highlighted, a book that you're reviewing. So that's definitely a strong point of you. And we definitely need people who make it a mission to educate themselves more than they entertain themselves. And you like to have fun. I mean, you're a traveler, a world-renowned traveler. You have
not
a
during
lot of fun,
COVID.
but healthy balance of educating yourself and entertaining yourself without neglecting the other. So definitely appreciate you for that one. Um, Now, the fifth and the final step of solving the Rubik's Cube is to see the bigger picture. That's the see the bigger picture. It's a metaphor for keeping your commitment to your commitments.
Mhm.
And I've told you this before. I've written a book, Life is like a Rubik's Cube. And I mean, Miss Penn, you did write a book. You know, people, Ayana got a woman mentor in you right now. It's young girls who need to figure out how to pick up the breadcrumbs that you have laid behind. And you said, look, my book is not yet. It's still forming itself. It's still forming itself, but how do you push through the trials and the tribulations of life? What has kept you focused on your goals when you should have thrown in the towel? And
Mhm.
a lot of people have quit. A lot of people have quit. Things that you have endured. So how do you keep that faith and keep pushing and keep your commitment to your commitments?
Yeah, I can't say this enough, but my faith and my spirituality is what keeps me grounded. I think we all have our different forms of adversity that we face, but I think it's a matter of how we handle that. And I know anytime that I'm facing an obstacle, that it's not going to last forever. And you call it character building, right? So
Hmm.
you say that's character building. I think, and I always think that okay, I'm experiencing this to allow me to grow, to get to a bigger and better phase or a bigger and better stage of my life. So my faith is something that keeps me grounded and it reminds me of who I am and whose I am. And I think that that allows me to continue to work because I know that, I think that we all have a gift, and our gift is to be of service to people in some type of way. And it looks differently for everybody. So I think that my faith keeps me grounded to my purpose. And that reminds me that I have to keep going because there's so many other people that are depending on, not just depending on me, but depending on me to succeed in whatever I'm doing, whether it's other people in the inner city that went to Miami Northwestern Senior High School or some other inner city high school that need to see that you can grow up in the inner city and still become whatever it is that you set your mind to. Like, you can go to college, you can become a civil rights attorney or any type of attorney you want to. I didn't know any lawyers growing up, didn't know what they looked like. I didn't know any Black lawyers, especially. I had no idea how to get to college. I had especially no idea how to get to law school. So I think that being that representation for people to know, like, hey, she did it. If she did it, I can do it. And I think that that's even been important to me as I continue to climb up the ladder. I'm just like, if this person can do it, that means that it's not impossible. So I can do it. How
Hmm.
there? Let me find out, let me strategically plan how to get there because I know it's possible. Also, my friends and my family, like my village, like they keep me grounded because they believe in me so much that is, I'm just like, look, they believe that I can do it. Like there must be something in me or about me or spirit around me that means that I can actually accomplish that. So I think that the belief that my people have in me keeps me going. It makes me want to keep trying even when I fail. Um, Sometimes I'm afraid to try, but I always have to try because I know, like, if I don't try, then what does that mean for other people who want to get here if I'm not even willing to try?
Hmm.
every obstacle that there's been, I've gotten past it. So I know that the next time I face an obstacle, it's no different. And mentors keep me grounded, always checking in, even when I check in with, our old professors or my mentor from back in high school, or mentors that I continue to develop on the journey. They're trying to figure out, all right, what's the next step?
Mm-hmm.
And after this, like, this isn't it for you. I know that this isn't it for you. And I think that that keeps a hunger and a thirst in me to keep going.
Stay hungry. You can never, like,
Absolutely.
certain people can't get to a point where they've made it. You're not one of them people. Just because your circle won't let you put your feet up and just start cruising. You got too much to do. You got too much serving to do, and God has given you so many abilities to lead and serve as a woman mentor to a lot of people, and you just can't stay complacent. Once you climb a mountain, you got
Absolutely.
to climb a new mountain, and when you climb
Yep.
that mountain, you got to climb a new mountain.
It's
It's just
always got to be another mountain.
Yep. So we have officially solved our Rubik's cube, but we do have a bonus step. The bonus for solving the Rubik's cube. Have you ever seen someone try to solve the Rubik's cube by taking the stickers off? Now, taking the stickers off is a metaphor for finding the shortcuts in life. If you try to take the stickers off a Rubik's cube, you end up with a ruined Rubik's cube. If you try to find shortcuts in life, you end up with a ruined life. Can you speak on the benefits of not taking the shortcuts, of following the steps that we've outlined? One, believing in yourself, having a strong why, surrounding yourself with quality people, and immersing yourself in a positive environment, continuing to grow, and keeping your commitment to your commitment. So the question is, what do you have any advice against the shortcuts in life?
I don't think that there are any shortcuts to true success, right? When you actually accomplish something, you look back on it and you think about, like, all that you've gone through to get to that place. And I think that that's success, right? When there's shortcuts, I don't think that there's that level of pride. There's no shortcut to get here, to fulfilling your purpose. I don't think that there's any shortcut. I think that every obstacle that you face and that you experience is necessary to build you up to where you're going. And if you bypass all of those obstacles, then you're not going to really be able to fulfill your purpose, right? And sustain it. So if all of those things are supposed to grow you, help you build some muscles for when you encounter the next, obstacle, if you're bypassing each one of those, you're not going to be strong enough to handle whatever that blessing is at the end of the journey. So there are no shortcuts to success. And if you try to shortcut yourself, you're really cheating yourself out of growing, out of really building something powerful. And the growth, like, there's so much beauty in the journey because of that growth. It helps prepare you for the blessing.
There's a quote that I love by J. Cole, the great philosopher, Jermaine Cole. He says that there is beauty in the struggle. In the heart of the battle, the sweeter the victory. A lot of times, man, we go through trials and tribulations, and we like, why me? But once you go through the trials and the tribulations, like, I did not know I was strong enough to handle those storms. One,
Absolutely.
it gives you the confidence to handle more, to be a problem solver, to be a problem solver. Like, minute tasks, obstacles, they don't deter you like they used to once you build that confidence up and you build that momentum up and accomplishing goals despite. Things happen. Things happen to everybody, and
Mm-hmm.
push through. The person who prevails, it's a deeper joy in gaining success when you know it. I went through hell and hot water to get here, and I'm so grateful that I did not throw in the towel. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
ladies and gentlemen, y'all, Madam President, Miss Ky'Eisha Penn, y'all. This has actually been a humble interview. I will have to toot her horn since she doesn't, but I'm gonna go off script, ask several questions, not several, just a few, but one. A lot of people, they wish that they could travel to half as many as countries that you've been to. We need young people that look like us to know that they can get on a plane and go somewhere and go see what other cultures are like. So if you may, good ma'am, if you can highlight some of the places you've gone to, some of the cultures that you've had the honor of experiencing. I know it's off topic, but if you don't mind, we need that inspiration. We need some travelers.
Um, Okay. While I was at FAMU, I think that was the first time outside of traveling to the Bahamas because my family is Bahamian. Well, my father's side of the family is Bahamian. That was the first time that I had traveled out of the country, going through, I think it was a cultural immersion program through FAMU. Shout out to FAMU for giving me that experience. We traveled to Ghana and spent, I think like 10 days in Ghana, but really traveled up and down that country. And it was such a beautiful experience, that I wish my family was able to experience. To, I think that we as Black people often feel this, not necessarily disconnect, but we have this longing to know where we come from and like like whose people we are outside of just being, our people in the United States. Like, where do we belong? Where are our roots? And I think going there was such a beautiful experience because I felt so connected to the history. I'm just like, I don't even really know exactly where my ancestors are from, but like, this feels right.
Hmm.
That was an amazing experience. And I hope that one day, so this is my dream. I hope that one day Black people are able to have birthright as a form of reparations, and they're able to travel back to wherever our ancestry says that, we came from. I think that the government needs to pay for us to be able to trace our DNA and then allow us to travel back and learn about the cultures of where our people come from, because that was an amazing experience. And I know that it's such a privilege to be able to travel anywhere. Sometimes it's a privilege to be able to travel out of Miami, let alone out of the state of Florida or out of the country. So I think that that was such an emotional experience, but a truly amazing experience that FAMU gave me the opportunity to have. I've gone to some other countries while I was in law school, just that net check. And that was truly a privilege. I've gone to Brazil. I went to, did a little Europe tour with one of my friends for our bar trip. And to be able to see the world and see how different it is, but also how similar it can be to the United States sometimes. And I think that's a conversation for another day, but it truly is a privilege, but also a beautiful experience to be able to be Black in other spaces, to experience what that is and experience what other cultures are like outside of, just whatever American culture is and being in the US. So if people have the opportunity to travel, like I recommend it. 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. I've had the opportunity to go to Costa Rica and Panama, and just to see Black people in other Black spaces is an amazing.
Right.
Like, we the same, we connected, but we different. It's completely different languages, but we also we already understand what's going on. So, dopeness at its finest. One, we got a person of your caliber. We got to make sure that we take full advantage. Are there any last words that you would like to embark upon the people who are viewing this interview tonight, good ma'am?
Dream big. Don't ever allow anyone to tell you no. But also don't tell yourself no. Like, don't count yourself out, no matter how big your dreams are. Like, it's possible, right? It's possible. And even if someone that look like you or acts like you or have beliefs like you have not enjoyed being in a certain space or having a certain position or something like that, doesn't mean it's impossible. You just have to be hungry enough to go after it and fight for it. Don't be afraid to use your network, the people that you have around you, because you never know who they know and who's in those people's circles and those people's circles. So definitely use your network. Have a plan. Like, I've always had a plan. Like, once I went to undergrad, I was just like, boom, this is what I'm going to do to make sure that I get my name out there. I'm going to apply to this scholarship. And then people are going to be like, aren't you the girl that won that scholarship? Boom, learn those. This is exactly what happened. Aren't you the person that won that scholarship? Met people from there and then applied to other stuff. Aren't you the girl that ran for XYZ? Yep. Build my network from there. And I don't know. It works. It works. It truly works. So I have a plan for, every degree program that I had, how I was going to, make a name for myself, like what organizations I wanted to join, when I got to law school, what clinics I wanted to take advantage of, what job opportunities I wanted to have. And I tried to figure out a way like, okay, now that I have a plan, how do I get there? Always have a plan, figure out how you're going to get there, see what people you're going to, what networks you're going to tap into to help you get there. Don't be afraid to, have those conversations with people who are doing the work that you're doing, to ask them, what they think about, your plan and how do they get to where they currently are and how they can help you. Don't be afraid to ask for help. I know sometimes that's something that I struggle with and I'm a work in progress. But I think that I was able to get here, not by myself alone, but because I had people that believed in me, people who were willing to stick their neck out for me, people that were willing to put in a word, people who prayed for me, people who just, whispered words of encouragement. Has truly been a group effort to be where I am. And it's so beautiful. So anytime I accomplish something, I'm just like, y'all, we made it. Like, this is our accomplishment. Like, granted, I passed the bar, but we passed the bar, So I think that that's something that is truly important. Use your network, expand your network. Just because people look like you or believe differently doesn't mean that y'all don't have the same goals in mind, or that they can't help you get to the next step. So, yeah.
Exactly. Gina Jones said, write your vision, make it plain.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, personally, I could never fix my face to say that I'm solely responsible for the trajectory that I'm on. I could never claim that. So many people have invested in me and told me to pay it forward. And I mean, you can't pay me back, pay it forward. And the way I pay it forward is putting in that commitment, putting in that drive, putting in that work. I think about these people. Hey man, somebody else took a sacrifice for me to be here, and I owe it to them to give it my all. And we gotta have that kind of mentality, man. You owe it to somebody else to give it your all. So
absolutely.
There we have it, Miss Ky'Eisha Penn, 2040 president, 2040 presidential candidate. Yeah. Y'all make sure y'all vote 20 years. But from the top of my heart to the bottom of my soul, thank you. I'm grateful for your presence. Thank you for your service to man and womankind. Miss Penn, be great like the lakes. Be blessed like a sneeze. Peace.
Thank you so much. Y'all have a good one.